Yeah, man. Let's get into it.
Word. All right. We're rolling?
We're rolling.
All right. Well, this is as good as any intro, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Crushing Brews.
Touching Tips.
Tips. I'm your boy Tommy Chronic here with...
What's up? It's Jimmy D, a.k.a. the Spider, a.k.a. the motherfucking Spider, a.k.a.
He had to add the motherfucker in there.
a.k.a. Mr. Kiss Your Mom. How's it going?
Oh, that was a good one, Mr. Kiss Your Mom. And we got a very special guest. Shout out to the homie for letting us use his space today and helping with recording.
Yeah, man. Welcome, boys. You guys are no strangers to this space, though.
Yeah, that's true. Also, I'm sorry. I'm so used to people doing their own. This is Shlomo, Bowe. Shlomo, do you have any nicknames for yourself?
Shlomito. That's pretty much my main nickname, I guess.
Shlomotron. That's the new one.
Shlomotron.
My whip is the Shlomobile, which is a classic.
I like that.
But yeah, dude. I run Mass Music Radio for those of you guys who don't know. And I do a lot of different things. I mainly do video editing these days, but I also do podcast production, run a studio out in Quincy, and yeah, man, happy to be on the show.
He's basically Mr. Haas.
Yes,
He's basically
dude.
the big boss of all Mass Music Radio.
We make it happen, dude. We make it happen. Tommy, when did I meet you?
Jeez.
Officially?
I was going to ask this. See, his
I feel like we've
podcast
known each other
professional
for a long
right
time,
here.
but I don't think we met until like later on down the line.
Yeah, because I was trying to think about when we went to the bar the other night, we were just talking about the starting days of like MMR and grab music. I think it had to be outside, but then I'm like, was it the first time I pulled up for an MMR?
Probably.
You think so? I think it was the first episode we actually...
It probably was, yeah.
Because I feel like I was always like, yo, what's good, what's going on? But I don't know. We would have been at different functions and stuff. I think that was the first time. But I've known you for so long.
It's been a minute. Yeah, we were very good friends on like Twitter and like social media for a long time.
Yeah. Mutual friend,
Yep.
shout out Seamus Hill. Yeah, he's the one who told me to just start hitting you up for stuff. And that's why
dude.
it worked out.
Shout out to Seamus, dude. Poland's own.
Yeah, we're going to have him on a Zoom one. That's the next episode.
Facts, dude. We'll get him in. Facts.
But yeah, man, it's been a long time. Fucking, I feel like the radio, the app is still like always running. Like that's the thing that's dope.
Well, actually, fun fact, it's been down for a week, but it's normally up and running.
God damn it.
Yeah, dude. I had a weird issue with the billing where because it's a UK-based company where I run my station through, they ran the card. My bank flagged it, and then I was going back and forth, and I'm grandfathered into an older plan. It's like a subscription-based plan, but they don't currently like offer that anymore. So I got caught in this weird like their system wouldn't let me like renew it, and then I had to hit them up because the new plan had some shit that I didn't want in there.
Yeah,
like an Alexa skill app. It's like, hey Alexa, play Mass Music Radio. I'm like, I don't fucking need to pay like $100 a year for that. No, like if you play Mass Music Radio, it's either through our website or the app. Like,
yeah.
The chances of people doing that and me paying extra just for like the off chance. I was like, hey Alexa, no.
Yeah.
So I was arguing with them within like the storage space. So I was going back and forth till they like kind of made like a custom plan for me, but they had to like redo their whole shit.
Yeah.
So it's taking like a week to do that.
Dude, so I've always been curious about that though, because like I understand it's an app, you stream, but like how you guys always have music playing on there, and you have like DJs that come in, but it's just like how many people are involved besides you in the Mass Music Radio?
In the curation?
Yeah.
Right now there is two of us. So it's myself and Jack Bardsley of Boston's Big Four.
Oh, shout out to them, bro.
Yeah.
I just met them like a couple months ago.
Yeah, really good dudes, him and Owen. And I saw them doing their thing. They were doing a lot of like the local, they were doing local music, like showcasing stuff.
Yeah.
But he was very consistent. We'd be posting like monthly or weekly just like playlists. So I reached out to him. I always respected him. Always, we were friends for years. And I stopped doing a lot of the curation like locally. I was doing obviously like DJs, but like the local music scene, I really wasn't involved that much anymore. And so I know that like there's really lacking. There's not a lot of companies that do that. So I was like, all right, there's definitely like a need for that in the Boston scene. So I was like, all right, let me partner with Jack. So he runs Friday nights from 5 to 8.
That's the thing that I don't know, dude. It's crazy because like the stream itself, when you could tune in and watch DJ sets, to like just the fact that you guys have music going, like as an entity, I've always been, that's what I really love about it, music first and everything. I'm like, you guys like have something established. Like, it's so respectable and cool. But then I'm like, dude, it's been going on this long, and still, the point is, it's like still relevant mass music. You're not recycling like Cousin Stiz songs off of Suffolk County. It's like,
we try to always update it and like.
so I was like, who's doing this? Because it's so good.
It's a lot too. Like when I first started, I started working on it in like December of 2017, right?
Yeah.
And you know, winter break and shit. And I was like, all right, we went to PR with Seamus and Gianni
Hell yeah.
in March for spring break. And like, we were on, you know, I was like already, 3 months in development. It's like, yo, boys, I remember standing on the balcony, we were looking at San Juan. I'm like, yo, when we get back, we're launching. And then we get back and I'm like looking at our curation, basically the schedule. And I'm like, we don't have enough music because like for 24/7, you know, the stream is constant. I didn't want it to sound like, you tune in, you're going to hear the same shit all the time. So I kept curating and like working with other DJs and trying to just like diversify it. Started doing like, before I called them like podcasts, they were just like radio shows, which is pretty much, they were podcasts.
Yeah.
But I started curating those. I had my own, I had some other people on there. And then finally I was like, you know what? Like I graduated and like end of May, June's rolling around, like fuck it. Like what are we doing here? And so finally I was like, you know what? It's not exactly where I want it to be, but like you got to just start and keep going. So we set a date, August 25th. We launched it and we never looked back.
Dude, that shit's so pinnacle because we're talking about graduation music the other day too, but I remember like just starting out with GB and like meeting our peers. Like the biggest things that would get us hype is a grad music write-up or having a song on the mass music like rotation. It's
Dude, it means a lot to people too. Like I still love that when people are like, we get emails all the time, hey, can you play this? Can you play that? I love doing it. I love showcasing. And I realized early on, a lot of our listeners, and even now, like 60% of our listenership is not even in the United States too. It's like we got a lot of people like all in Europe is big. Believe it or not, like in Russia and like other parts where like they can't listen to like Spotify and shit like that. It's kind of a nice like loophole. Probably shouldn't say it on the air, but
no, I know what you mean.
But yeah,
they're like listening to it in Singapore.
Dude, we're getting crazy streams. Like we had a bunch of listeners in Canada. I met my shorty through Mass Music, and she was a listener in like Toronto,
Nice.
which is crazy. But yeah, dude, it's definitely like a showcase for the Boston music scene. I always kind of had that as like in the back of my head. I'm like, yo, I don't want to just play music because you're from Boston. I want to play like the best shit.
Yeah.
You know, and really like say, hey, like this is what it's like in the Boston scene, in the Massachusetts scene in general, and I wanted to have like the absolute best of the best. And I think even with Seamus, we're like he wouldn't just write about anybody. Like
no,
he kind of his ear was like I trusted him to say like, yo, you can curate. Even with Jack, I'm like, I trust you to play and you know curate it to your ear.
Even when Seamus like would write articles back then, like. For about, like you said, it was super curated. It wasn't just about anybody. That's how I booked all of my early shows. Like was early grad music, because like I knew of some people, like I knew the big names, and then through like following them, I met like Peso Boy and everything like that. But he would write about like high key random or like certain people, shouting out random names now, but no pun intended. But like. I was like, damn, who are these people? Like I didn't realize how deep it went. I knew the DIY scene, but I didn't realize there was like legit like the great Scott back in the day having great shows. He would write about people. I'm like, where am I going to go see them? And now I'm like doing shows. I'm like, oh, they're out here. Like, I don't know.
Dude, I wonder if it's still as big. I used to go to these like showcases where it was like the Good Music Showcase was one of like my favorite ones. QNC used to run one. They used to run like a bunch of different versions of those, but it would be like 10 to 15 different artists, and they'd get like, I don't know, like 5-10 minute sets, and then you have like a ton of artists, like, and you know, some of them are a little bit more green, and then like usually like 1 or 2 per show, I'd be there like, yo, this person's nasty. You know, that's kind of how I also used to discover new artists.
They had the testing lab over at the Sound Lab. I don't know if they paused doing it, but they were doing that as of like last year, which was a similar thing, like an open mic kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you know Master of the Chamber? Have you seen that?
I do, yeah.
That's cool to me because it's a little bit, it's kind of like that, but it's they book it. It's more hand-picked. But like, Master of the Chamber is this thing that they do in Mass where it's like 8 rappers and they do a tournament and they do like monthly live showcases. And so like two rappers will go up back to back and then they'll be like, by a show of hands or like show of noise, who had the better performance? And they just knock people out until someone, they're on like, I don't know, like how many volumes now, but
1 million at this point.
and
They used to do another one in Cambridge. You know that graffiti alley?
Yeah.
I think it was what was that guy's name? Oh man. I can see his face right now. It was basically like not under the bridge or like the bridge cipher or something like that.
It was something like that. I think
was sick, dude,
The Bridge
yeah.
Cipher. Yeah. There's a lot of cool stuff like that. Boston had a sick like battle rap scene for a bit.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of my early days of mass music was like catered to the local rap scene. Rap, hip hop, and like a little bit of R&B. But over the years, dude, it's just like I had to kind of adjust the business model because it's like throwing shows is one way to make money, but also like if you're not in with the bar, like getting really good ticket sales, like there's really no money in that. It's kind of just doing it for the love,
Yeah.
which is great and it's great, but it's like to build a company, that's not an avenue.
No.
And then like the radio stream itself, unless I'm charging people to download my app, hard to do that. Plus, you put in copyrighted music because I was playing a lot of local, but I also was playing a lot of commercial records.
Mm-hmm.
You know, somewhat pirate radio style,
Yeah.
and looking into licensing, and then was like, all right, let's add some video because we started recording DJ sets, started recording like, we used to do like rap, like we'd have ciphers, like I'd do an interview and used to like have people just spit a free or like rap their song and shit. But then you get into like sync licensing, and it's a wormhole.
You know what kills me? I didn't know you used to do the rap with the interview type thing because I was gonna say already not to make it a glaze fest, but you know about the lot radio and those types of things. You were doing the lot radio before the lot radio.
No.
How long have they been around?
10 plus years.
Oh really?
Yeah, because I found out about them. I was like, oh, this shit's sick.
Well, I guess if you knew back then, but like they've blown up in the last few years like way more. Like
Yeah.
I see a lot of them a lot more.
Have
than
you
I
been
ever
there?
did. No, I
It's
actually
really
just,
cool.
I submitted something to go do something.
Did
with
you?
them.
Yeah. They're
But
fire.
that idea, you know, they have the DJs that come in and like on an hourly every 2 hours, and when they're
Mhm.
not, it's just that live stream of the lot with the music playing. That's like I just put it together the other day. I'm like, we have the lot radio here. That's
Yeah.
you guys have been doing that. Like that's just very cool to me. But then the other thing is like doing the raps with the interviews. I'm like, oh, so you're doing On the Radar then too back then.
Yeah.
Like you've been doing this showcase.
They've
shit
really
that's-
blown up on the radar. If you've ever seen those
Huge.
things where it's
Nah.
like it's a really cool set. I don't know if it's like a studio or someone's place, but like it's like neon. It's a really cool backdrop, and they'll have like rappers and singers and like. I remember there's a really cool series. I'm sure they're still going. It's called Colors,
Oh yeah, I love
and
that.
it's just a room, like an empty room. Picture just 4 walls, or I guess 3 walls, and then obviously cameras on one wall, and then it's just they'll put like mood lighting, so like all blue, all green, or whatever, and then it's just a mic hanging from the ceiling, and it's like not acapella, but it's like live performances.
yeah.
Yeah,
And they
that's
used
cool.
they used to only have like up and coming artists, and then obviously like they took off. But
Yeah.
you know, there's more bigger artists that went on there. But I discovered a lot of artists there too.
Yeah, that the colors thing. I remember the first one I saw was you know that rapper Father?
Yeah.
He did one back in the day, and that was like one of those things. I guess as a viewer, that was a lateral move. It was like that. He didn't need to do that, but Colors was also up and coming, and I feel like that was like a big iconic performance because like people were just like, "What the hell is that?" They just it was one of those
mutually
collabs you
beneficial,
didn't
yeah.
expect. Yeah.
Now, Jimmy, you do a lot of comedy. Obviously, we've been talking a lot about like, you know, music related platforms to like get your name out there. Are there any comedy related, whether it's like podcasts or I know obviously we talked about it on our show, the Nick's Comedy Stop, which is
Yeah.
I think that's the only one I really know of that's like a local production.
Yeah, they just followed me on Instagram.
I walked past
Nice.
them the other day.
Uh-huh.
Nice. Shout out Nick's.
But yeah, Nick's Comedy Stop followed me. I was like, ooh, something's happening. They've been booking a lot of people recently. They're going hard. But yeah, I guess like you just got to come up as far as Boston goes. You got to come up for the clubs until you're ready to move somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nick's is the big one. There's also Laugh Boston and the Kowloon and
Dude, what was that
probably
thing?
drawing a blank
Yeah.
on a few of them. But there's a few comedy clubs around.
What was
Dude,
that-
keep your eye out. We talked about it the other day about doing a something at the lodge, the Masonic Lodge, and I talked to the guy Will, who's my boy. He's like the head honcho over there.
Oh, you talked to him.
And he was, I told him like, hey, what do you think about doing some sort of comedy show, blah blah blah. And he was like, actually, there was some talks of doing like a Masonic like dad joke night. Because they do different like events. Not obviously they do Masonic stuff, but like just events for the brethren. And for the 8th district, which is pretty large. There's like several lodges within the district. He was like, what if we could do some cool like collaboration where it's like kind of have like an open mic to anybody who wants to come and tell jokes, but then have like actual comedians as like headliners.
That's a good way to do it. Yeah.
I was like, that's a sick idea. Yeah.
Yeah, because then the comics have in that way, but then it's more incentive for, dads love telling jokes. That's a good way to people bond, community build.
Yeah,
That's
and it
sick.
mostly would be the boys. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like you could bring your wife or girlfriend. Obviously, it would be open to the public, I believe. But even if it's not, like, it would definitely be a good time, I think.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea.
And I've heard some of the funniest jokes. Like some of these guys, I have a guy in our lodge named Graham. He's probably in his mid to late 70s. He's British.
Oh.
And he tells these really long form jokes. Like you know what I'm talking about, like the structure. It's not just like one-liners where like he knows not riddles, what are they called? Limericks. He's a master of those. Like, and then you get some guys come in, like they'll just go joke for joke. It's so funny.
That would be the best environment too, because if they're already primed up by like joking with each other and getting up there and just having fun, or even if they don't, even if they're just there to watch comedy, but they're they're bumping shoulders.
Yeah,
that just makes it so much easier for.
Yeah, I could definitely get you in touch with pros as well.
We should, man.
Yeah.
The only thing we're missing is either a liquor license or get the 1 day.
Yeah.
Which is not that hard. I think we could do it.
We could do that.
But and then obviously we gotta get some production. I got some lights in there, and I'll come and bring the motherfucking ruckus.
That would be sick. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
What was the thing they did the other night? Sorry, the other thing the 100 comics at the Comedy Stop.
Oh, at the Comedy Studio. That was the one I was drawing a blank on. Yeah, they did 100 comics at a minute.
That's
on
pretty
New
fire.
Year's Day at the Comedy Studio in Cambridge
to kick into New Year's.
Well, I've been watching a lot of Kill Tony, and I watch a lot of stand up in general. And I think if and when we do, let's say we do a one-off, the Mason / just like regular, whatever we call the show.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good way to kind of get our foot in the door. And from there, I would love to host, not be the host, but like facilitate a night, like whether it's once a month.
Yeah.
And kind of make it a regular thing, just as another outlet for comedians. But I would like to film it.
That would be cool.
Because like how often do you get a film set unless you film your own?
Yeah, so for that you definitely want to get the right comedians for something like that.
Yeah.
Not all comedians are going to want to be on film.
I think it would make it an option.
That's the other thing too.
Like basically as a package.
A lot of comedians would love that.
Yeah.
Don't
just
have
as
to bring their
because
own.
how many I don't know if they call it reels, but like in film, we're like, all right, this is my reel. Like you kind of use it to even with DJs, like we have so many DJs that come record sets and they use those sets at our studio to show to promoters, to show to clubs. Like, hey, this is kind of what I do. I think it would be cool to offer that.
Especially if you're confident in getting a good crowd, something like that would be dope for like a lot of like crowd work comedians or comedians that do topical humor.
Yeah, and it'd be easy. Just set up one camera in the back, fucking main shot, and then one face in the crowd.
And there's a whole lot, like you were saying, though, like some comedians might not want it, but if it's an option that's provided for them, because there's no one that does that. Like most places, they just set up their phone on the stand if they want to film their own set. So knowing that, like oh, this place does that, then they're going to bring their best jokes to get on the reel. So you're going to also, ideally, like the theory being, they don't have to get filmed, but if they want to, they're going to come with stuff that they want on their reel.
Right.
So you're going to be getting the best material out of people.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fire. Maybe just film headlines, or just I think just giving it an option, because like, I don't know. I think there's definitely need for more comedy in the Boston scene. Obviously, it's bubbling, but I think on social media, I don't see a lot of it. And I think that'd be really cool to kind of tap into that.
I agree. I'm also thinking about people that would be so funny. If I'm just picturing like 30-something-year-olds through just like straight dads at the lot. Like, who would be great to book? For some reason, Ricky Fish is popping in my head. Just people that those guys in the crowd are gonna look at me like I like this
like
guy.
Like a dad guy, that would be hilarious. Or like Josh Adams.
Josh is another. I was just gonna say.
J.J. Jones could be really funny. Like we're talking dad comedians.
That's the thing, dude. We start off small, one of these, and then like as long as we make it consistent, and I think that for the future, just having something, at least for the lodge, like I'm a part of it, so I know like the ins and outs. we need something consistent that's not high risk too. Because like when I first came in, I'm like, yeah, I want to throw fucking shows here, and like to throw a DJ like with DJs, and there's a lot of people drinking and whatever, loud music. There's a lot of liability, right? And they're by the books. Like we'd have to hire police detail. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it.
Yeah.
But a comedy show, pretty low,
low energy.
liability. Well, no, energy is one thing, but like, I just think that we wouldn't have to like worry too much.
Most you might get is a spillage of like if there's beverages available.
Right.
That's the worst.
You gotta have beverages though.
No, I think it's a great idea too, because like you look at like I was saying this to you before, but like in Mass specifically, one of the biggest I'd say like right now touring hardcore nationally venues, if you get to the East Coast, is literally the Sons of Italy in Hingham. I don't know what it is, but there's this band Last Wishes from the UK, and they barely ever tour the US, and their first stop was Sons of Italy.
Dude.
And there's this band Zulu that's a huge, now they're an international touring act, but at the time they were doing they were in the middle of like 2 back-to-back tours of the whole US, and they're like a super black power, black violence band, and they're just like playing to this
I know them.
They're sick, dude. And like this is a venue that like plays like hardcore and metal is tough regardless, but if anybody listening knows Zulu, they'd understand the difference. It's like straight just beat each other, just punch you music. It's not even like headbanging. And like they had them play, and I was explaining like the walls, they're all like glass, and these are like young kids, but I guess the point is that if it's something that people have respect for the venue going into, you know what I mean? The same way this is going to be their lodge, and it's like it should be smooth sailing. There's low liability. Everyone's going to, you know what I mean? Like stuff like if people are there to enjoy it, they're going to keep coming back if it's provided, you know?
It's facts.
That
dude.
kind of thing.
Yeah, I'd love to get that going, dude. I floated the idea on Thursday, so it's still very new, but
yeah, I could definitely help out with that. I know like all the killers.
I feel like that should be the project. Yeah, that should be the big project.
I could throw a show for like any budget.
And I'm sure it was like different with like when you guys, this was so long ago, but like with the liquor license, like at lodges, do people like that? It's like a space to hang, right? Like a Knights of Columbus.
There are, yeah. So like we don't have a bar there, and like our old lodge, right, which was 1170. It burnt down in 2013, and then they moved it to Weymouth, and like just as an basically like we're in another lodge temporarily, bought this new building and set it up. But the other building, like I've heard stories, the place was massive, like massive. And like now, the company that bought it, they turned it into like a steakhouse, like a really fancy steakhouse.
Wow.
Yeah, I was actually going to Quincy College when that happened in 2013.
You remember that?
And I remember that. Yeah, I was driving up Route 3, and I could see the smoke coming over the trees, and I'm like maybe like Hanover area.
Oh, damn.
And I'm looking, I'm like, that's like vaguely the direction I'm going towards. And I go there, and yeah, it was like they had just got the fire out, and I looking at my email, and it's like, yeah, classes canceled because of air quality.
Damn.
And they had it all
I was in
taped
science,
off.
dude. I remember looking out the window, Quincy High, in the back part of the building.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, and then like they were like, yeah, and obviously like, the Masonic Lodge is burning. Everyone's like, shady.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember thinking, because I didn't know what that building was.
Yeah.
And they were like, I would talk to like a police officer like right at the tape, and he kept calling it the temple. And I was like, is somebody burnt down a religious building?
Yeah, dude. And it turns out that some idiot, they were doing work on it, and like we're working, and like one of the curtains caught on fire, and it's like, dude, it's like a 90-year-old curtain.
Yeah.
Just, whole building.
Went right up. It's funny too, though, you say that with like the shady, right in Dudley Square, right in Roxbury, there's an old Masonic lodge over there.
Oh, really?
That's abandoned. And now that I think about it, I'm like, I think this was a fire. Like, because of the way that like the windows are blown out and everything's boarded up, I'm like, what's going on?
Well, dude, back in the day, my Nana told me they used to have dances there. Like, that was the spot to be back in the day.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like, our Nana and Papa, they used to go to the Knights of Columbus for Poppy. I don't know what I wasn't alive.
Grampy.
I call my Grampy, and I think that doesn't matter. Doesn't. Sean used to call him Poppy. But yeah, didn't they used to go to all the dances at like Knights of Columbus and stuff like that?
They used to be a big thing, dude. Knights, the Elks Lodge. There's Rotary Club. There's like
7 different.
There's mad different like I guess not gentlemen's clubs, but like
pretty much
they're like fraternities in a sense.
Yeah,
like Freemasonry is a fraternity.
Well, that's what I was gonna say too. The thing about it, like, it's a fraternity, so that's what I was asking. Like, do people nowadays, like older guys, they just go down there to like hang, like do the book, like sign? I don't know if they have a book. I don't know what the thing is. Like,
yeah, I mean, nowadays, like there's not like a hang spot all the time. Like when we have the like meetings / like Monday night, like the rehearsals and stuff, there is a lot of hanging, but it's not like an open door policy type of thing, which like kind of stinks. I wish it was. And I think if there's more events, there'd be more reason for people to come and hang. And we were just talking last night on the pod about like community, and the Gen Alpha was like our topic. And I was saying, I'm like, I think a big thing that our generation and going forward, it's like we're losing community.
I
agree. I feel like it's like we definitely need to do stuff to one, like be part of one, but also build one up. So like the comedy scene is a community. You know?
Oh yeah, very much so. Yeah, I was just talking with other comics because I'm a little naive to it because I haven't been doing I've only been doing it for a little over a year now. But other comics that have traveled to other cities to do comedy, they're like, there's nothing like Boston in terms of like how much of it is a community and everybody wants to support. And a lot of other places are more cutthroat.
Yeah, there's some killers in Boston, dude.
There are.
Oh yeah, there's great comics.
At least from Boston.
Like I opened for Drew Dunn, absolute killer.
Oh, do you know Drew Dunn?
I don't think so, no.
I'll send you something later.
Yeah,
he's hilarious.
He tours with Dane Cook right now. He's like blowing up. Like when I got booked on that show, he had which was in September.
Mm-hmm.
He had like 55,000 followers on Instagram, and now he's already doubled that since I opened for him a few months ago. He's
That's
like blowing
sick.
up right now.
Dude, he's just got this look about him too. Where you're like, I went to school with this guy. Yeah. Like he's got like the it's not a bowl cut, but he's got like the wavy medium brown hair that's like at that length right at his eye.
Where it curls
big
at the
stocky
end.
dude. Like I'm like, you used to play football or something.
Yeah,
dude. Like you just look
funny.
like it. Like, but
Dane
he's
Cook is a
hilarious.
beast, dude. I remember like obviously growing up, he was a beast, and then he kind of fell off for a bit.
Yeah.
But my buddy Connor, he just put out a movie. He was working on a movie, and he's out in LA. He's been like shopping it around the studios, and like it's basically a Dragons movie. And it started actually as live action, and recently he just made an announcement they're moving it to like animated.
Oh, that's cool.
But the voice of the dragon is Dane Cook.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Shout out
he
to
got
him.
Dane
That's a
Cook
big
to like
grab.
voice it.
Heck yeah.
Pretty sick.
That's
So like he's buddies with him now, and like somewhat of a mentor in a sense. But yeah, Dane Cook's a beast. I saw Chappelle at the Garden sometime last year, and Dane Cook did like a quick like 5 to 10 minute opening set. It was so fucking funny.
That's crazy.
Hell yeah.
That's a sick show to see. Dude, do you ever hear about like part of the reason that he fell off? Well, there was a big hating Dane Cook phase at a point when he was at his height. But did you ever hear about the controversy with like his brother and all that stuff?
Yeah,
Like,
I
that
saw
shit's
that.
crazy, bro.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Fucking
Don't do that to me,
scram ass, bro.
Jimmy. Don't do that shit to me. my
Yeah,
God.
it's funny. I have this guy who always comes up to me, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm Dane Cook's cousin." I'm like, cool.
What are you, Whitey Bulger's
Yeah.
fucking nephew?
Yeah,
Is that
but-
type of thing?
You know
But
what's
then
mad funny
There was
too?
this other guy. I
Okay.
was at an open mic. He comes up to me and he was like, "Yeah, great material, dude." He's like, "You got it." And he's like, I would know. I'm Chris Farley's cousin." I look at. I'm gonna get a picture of this.
Yeah,
dude
the
up right
picture's
now.
crazy. I'm gonna show
I
you.
was
it
like,
looks
I
just like
never
him.
had any doubt. Like, when people are like, "I'm Dane Cook's cousin," I'm like, "Yeah, all right."
I saw his brother do. I think I saw just a clip of him on Instagram.
He did a podcast recently too. I'm pretty sure he do not recently, but I think he was on like a big podcast of like a modern comic, and all they did was ask him about obviously his brother, but he does comedy too.
Dude, it's so hard to be a brother of someone who's super fucking famous. Dude, you know what I saw recently? Stone Cold has a brother.
Oh yes, because
Dude,
he
he
brought
looks
him
just
out
like
on this
him.
last. Did you see that clip?
No, I just saw a picture. I was like, holy shit, I was dying laughing, dude. Like, he looks just like him.
Well, it's funny because as a super mark, like Stone Cold behind the scenes. Oh yeah, Chris Farley's.
Oh, yeah.
That's a
That's
Farley. Let me see. I'm putting it to the thing, but the fucking. We'll see if it focuses.
You know who else is really, really fucking funny? This guy, Bob Marley.
Oh
Yeah, he's from Maine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
he's a killer.
I started watching his clips on TikTok or something, and he's got the classic like, oh, New England family, like just like the New England humor
yeah.
crushes me every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or another guy like that, younger though, Jimmy Cash. You seen him? He does little skits too on social media.
What's
Jimmy
his
Cash.
shtick?
He's just a Boston guy. He's a stand-up comedian. He's great, but he also does these like videos, and it's like, this is what it's like to take out the ACs during the during the fall time in New England.
That's not the guy who's like, come with me in a fucking
No, that's Jake
That guy's
Scally.
great,
That guy's
too.
he's my
Fuck,
favorite.
dude. That shit's mad
Yeah,
funny.
that shit. My favorite one is when he does Jordan's furniture, and he's like, "That statue's made out of jelly beans, but wouldn't it be awesome if it was made out of Percocet?"
That's great, dude.
Oh, it's too good.
That's the thing too. Like, it's a great time. I think it's a great time with social media and everything to do anything Massachusetts if you can really lean into Massachusetts being your brand. I mean, Massachusetts people love Massachusetts. It's no wonder that like the comedy scene is a community, because as soon as a Boston movie comes out, it doesn't matter if it's shit or not, we're going to see it, and we'll know the obscure ones that people don't even realize are from Boston.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
and so it's just a great time. Like, those characters, it's no wonder they go so viral. You could blow up just in this region, but it's also just funny, like the characters in general.
There's this guy, Robbie Roadsteamer. I don't know if you heard of him.
Nah. Good
So
name.
I heard his song when I was in college. It was called Revere Beach, and you got to look it up. It's the funniest shit ever. I didn't know it was him, and then years later, probably in like 2020, maybe 2021, I saw this random video. It was him, like just like kind of in the woods somewhere, and he's just like, "We need to bring back the Boston music scene." He's like, we need to have jam spaces, Adderall bumps, like jam space, and like he's just like he goes off and about like the funniest shit.
He's not lying.
And he was talking about like, we need Ernie and the Automatics. Ernie Bach Jr. I guess was in a band and shit. And like,
That guy's crazy.
well, dude, his edits are so funny. Like he'll like cut it in with the like he'll like randomly cut that into his clips. It's the funniest shit ever.
Dude, I always
I have this running joke whenever I have to threaten somebody jokingly. I'm always like, "Don't make me have to introduce you to Herb Chambers and Ernie Bach Jr."
I like that.
Dude, I used to see this girl back in the day, and who knows, hopefully I'm not starting beef with the Bach family, but Ernie Bach's kid, I guess, is unhinged. He's like a Chet Hanks of the Bach family.
Oh, fuck,
Not Chet-
dude.
Or even worse, he's like a Hunter Biden of the Bach family.
That's pretty
He's-
far.
Yeah. There's multiple snaps out there on some girl's Snapchat of him doing bumps. Sorry, bro, I'm not to out you. Oh, riff time. Yo, so I'm going to save that for when he gets back, actually. Hold on. We'll talk about this. I keep looking at this at a quick glance. Oh, that was fast. I keep looking at this at a quick glance and thinking it's a kangaroo. And I've been thinking that.
I honestly, I didn't
I
think
can
that
see that.
until you said that, but I think in my subconscious, I was like, "There's a kangaroo nearby."
That's hilarious.
It looks like a kangaroo tail. No, dude, I've been farting up a storm. Subject change.
Dude, well, I'll bring it back real quick. When I was working at Quirk Ford
Oh, yes.
back in like high school, I remember I was bored one day, and this was right when weed was getting legalized. And so I went up to one of the salespeople. And they come up to our desk, which usually just fuck with us. And I was on the computer, and I'm like, "Oh shit, no way!" And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "No way." He's like, "What?" I was like, "Dude, Herb Chambers is opening up a dispensary," and they were like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, Herbs," and they were like, they bought it. I like
Yo,
straight
that's
faced it.
sick.
It was the funniest shit. He believed me too. I never told him I was lying either.
He's like, dude, I don't know where it is. I can't find it.
I used to do that a lot. I'd like I guess it would be lie, but I'd like see like how far I could just straight
Fuck with
face
someone.
say stupid shit. Usually I'd say it to my mom, and like she'd so gullible.
Yeah.
But like after years of doing it, she doesn't believe it. So I stopped doing that as much.
She's
But
been trained.
yeah, herbs, dude.
That would be sick.
That's a missed opportunity.
If Herb Chambers is out there, you owe my boy like 50 mil for that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you.
Well, yeah, man. Love the idea for the show, dude. Crush and brews. Nothing
Yes.
better.
Yeah, real.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Touching tips.
Cheers. We do have a recurring bit. I try, but I realize I don't know how high quality these mics are. Usually with our snowball mic, anytime you open a beer, we crack it. And I was like, let me not do that in the middle of everyone talking. R.I.P. headphone users. I don't know.
You could hear a lot of our early pod days, especially like the morning show. Not the morning show, but the early, I guess, programming of mass music. We used to have a lot of brews.
Yeah.
There's a couple photos, and just like if you look back in the archive, we drank a lot of cold snaps, like when they first came out, and
Yeah.
I guess just any beer in general. But I would always save the cans because I was like, yo, I'm gonna get the the 5 cents on this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I was somewhat broke / like just hustling.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, if we're going to be drinking beer, spending all this money, we might as well get some money back. And one day, we myself, Andy, and JQ, I was like, boys, come over to the studio. Like, I need your help. And I borrowed my mom's truck. And, dude, we used to stack them. Like, I'd keep the box. We put them back in the box, tape it up. And I put one there and then one there. And I stacked, like, 4 rows to the ceiling in the studio, like, 2 deep. So I'm like, we have a shitload of cans. So the boys came with me, and we brought it to the can place. And, dude, we're there for, like, 45 minutes. Like, we're fucking, because you have to count them, all this shit. Some of them were boxes. There were a lot of, like, loosies, so you had to, like, go through it.
Yeah.
And we ended up with, like, $28 or some shit.
Out of the cans.
Yeah. Close to $30. And I'm like, sick.
That's
But we were there, like, all day. I'm like, yo, you guys hungry? We peel out, we drive across the street to McDonald's, and I bought the fucking Team McD's.
Yeah.
So I wasted most of the bread from it, but it was a really fun day. And I just got a GoPro, so we were filming in the car, and shit was mad funny.
That's the best shit. Dude, first side note, they didn't have cold snaps. So when you told me you found some, I was like, thank God, because I'm just grabbing these anyways. But I wanted one so bad. I don't drink Sam Adams.
You want to try one?
I'll take a sip
You want a sip or you want this one?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean,
I'll trade you.
yeah, I was going to say, you want one of these?
So, is Cold Snap your favorite Sam's?
Yes, by far.
Oh, mine's. I was actually just talking about this the other day. My favorite. I do love good Cold Snap, but my favorite's the Sam Summer.
Summer's fire.
And so like for my day job, I work outside. I work with trees and doing like horticulture stuff, as I said before. So I'll be in like full pesticide gear, and it'll be like 1,000 degrees outside, and it'll be September 2nd. And the worst thing is when I'm trying to unwind, shower, get dressed. I'm like, I'm gonna go to the bar, watch the Red Sox, chill out, and it's September 2nd, and they're like, it's Oktoberfest now. And I'm like, God damn it, it's still summertime. And they're like, no, it's not. They're like, no, it's not. And I'm like, yes, it is. You're not outside all fucking day.
I don't care.
On my goddamn Sam Summer.
I don't
and the
care.
fucked up thing is like, I like Oktoberfest, but I need a little grace period.
There's got to
with
be
my
some period in between.
Sam Summer.
You want to hear some crazy shit? The other night we went to the Fours, just the boys. I get there. I had a tough day at work, so I'm like, all right, let's get some drinks, boys. We sit down, and I was like, yeah, I was late. I was like the last one there. They already had a round going. I'm like, all right, yeah, let me, you guys have Cold Snaps on tap? She's like, oh, not yet, sorry. So I grabbed something else, and then, we have a few drinks, and we were like getting ready to leave, and she's like, do you guys want to do one more round? And we're like, oh, I'll think about it. She comes back around. She's like, oh, actually, they just opened the tap for the Cold Snaps. I was like, full round for the boys. we got like 2 more rounds, like, oh, it was awesome.
That's so funny. They were like, hold on, we got him.
First of the year, we were hyped, dude.
Yeah, that's dude. I think it's funny. I get that it's the fall seasonal beer, but if the word October is in the beer, you gotta wait till October to bring it out.
Well, yeah, and the fact that it's summer until September 21st.
That's even worse. Yeah.
I got a question for you guys. Is there any beer that you guys drank to the point where you can never drink it again? Because I've had a couple.
For beer?
The first one for me was Bud Light oranges.
Oh,
I drank 10,000 of them, and I'm like, I never want to drink one again.
I don't think so.
I probably will drink one again, but I couldn't do it. There was one summer, it was just we drank so many.
Citrus beer, it's so good, but Bud Light, you're like, that's gonna kill you, dude.
It was fire. It was fire.
So, my first drink ever, we stole a 6-pack of Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, and like drinking like 3 of those was all I could ever. I'll never again ever touch.
What was your first drink, Tommy?
My first drink itself.
First beer.
My first beer was warm Bud Lights, as most teenage boys is, and I actually think that that's probably it, because I was like trying to think, and I'm like, even today I'll drink Bud Light.
Yeah.
But it always tastes a little weird, and that must have been it. Like my first time drinking beers was stealing warm beers from my friend's dad.
My first beer was Natty Ice, dude.
Oh,
we got a 30 rack of Natty Ice.
Nice.
And those were the solid days. And then I remember in college we went through a big Busch Latte phase. We would just be drinking Busch Lattes because they were cheaper than the Bud Lights. We're like, all right, sick. We'll get a 30 for like $12 or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, the Busch. I
went through a little Busch phase back in the broke days.
I'll see if I
Busch
can.
isn't bad.
I'll see if I can find the picture. But we would go up for like 7 to 10 days for a few years. A group of friends of mine. Jeez, we'd go up. We did it for like 3 years in a row before I stopped going, and it was just like a trip to go get fucked up, get away from everything, take a week off work. And the amount of beers that we would kill, and like we made it a thing to take a picture every single night of like the thing. And by the end, dude, like you were talking about the stack to the ceiling, like it was. I think we got like 330 racks the first night, and had to go back to the liquor store 2 more times. It was bad, dude. And it was mostly just Adam and I. Shout out to Adam, who's still not here. It's okay though.
There's nothing better than drinking with the boys.
It's a good time.
Definitely. Yeah, it was actually funny. I went to I was chilling with Tommy Reedy the other day. He's a Plymouth legend, musician, skateboarder.
Mm-hmm.
Legend.
Fucking jack of all trades,
Yeah,
dude.
and
Modern Renaissance man.
yeah.
Dude.
So we were listening to Jeff Hilliard play music, and Jeff just comments the fact that there's no women in the bar. And
Everyone's like, "This is sick."
Yeah, we were like, dope, hell yeah, sausage fest. And then, so yeah, it's Thursday nights. My buddy Nick is the bouncer on Thursdays. And so Nick got there, and we were like, dude, don't let any bitches in. We were like, it's boys club tonight.
You put the sign out like, was it the Goonies? It's like boys only.
That's awesome. Dude, you guys ever remember when Platies came out? Bud Light Platinum.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, I do remember that.
That was like when Gorilla Glue hit the streets. That was a whole different thing for kids our age.
That shit was different. Yeah, that was like that Girl Scout cookie.
Yeah. It was. Dude, I remember when I was in high school, we used to go up to we'd have different drinking spots around in Quincy. And one of them was behind the Cam Man, which is like a Chinese or it's just Asian, like not really a supermarket, but it's more of like a almost like I don't know if you've ever been to a swap meet
kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's like a swap meet where like you go in, there's like little like stores, but like there's no rhyme or reason. Like one of them, you could buy turtles, you used to get scales there.
Yeah, I can picture.
Like literal like scales, you could get pipes, you could get swords, you can buy like shirts. There was like definitely like a market, you get boot. It was everything, but behind it was like a patch of woods, and so we had a post there one night, and like I get there relatively early because I lived close. We were kind of just scoping it out, and I was with my buddy Matt, and we got there way too early. We go up, no one's there. It's probably like I don't know, like 8. So it was summertime, so it's like 8 o'clock, and we're like, all right, nobody's fucking here. We're leaving, and by the side where you leave, we saw just a box of Platies, and I went over and just like kind of kicked it, and it went ching-a-ling-a-ling. It was heavy, so I picked it up. Full case of someone stashed them, so we're like, oh, don't mind if we do, and fucking we made off with them. It was the first time I ever had Platies. I was like, what the fuck are these, dude?
Came up on
actually
them.
That's crazy you say that, because we used to back in the day in downtown Plymouth, you can like there's a few spots you can get up onto the roofs and you can roof hop like right on Main Street.
That's pretty fire.
And there's a couple of like other spots we used to go to, because like there'd be like these little courtyards that like if you don't know how to get there, you can't get there because there's barbed wire and all this stuff, and like but like we figured out a way to climb up on a building and then climb down a gutter to avoid having to climb over the barbed wire to get in this courtyard, and we would just like day drink there when we were like 19.
That's fire.
And one time we climb up, I had to go to work and I was really broke. And we were like, me and my friends had no money, no cigarettes. I was like 19 or 20. And we were just like, let's go like smoke the rest of the weed on top of this building. We go up there. There was a 30 rack of Bud Lights. And he was like, dude,
Calling
you should
your
just
name.
call out of work. We can have a night. And I was like, all right.
Both of you guys found fucking free cases of beer? Actually, I can't be mad. I just remembered. I stole a keg from a party one time.
Uh-oh.
Well, it wasn't like I stole it, but I wasn't like... So there was this girl, she was throwing a birthday party, and it was BYOB, and then one kid came, we had to be like 18, and one kid came and he was like 24, and he worked at like a liquor warehouse.
Yeah.
So he brought 2 kegs, but no tap. So the kegs were just sitting in they were literally seats. Like people just put cushions on top of them and sat on top of it, waste of it. But this girl, one of those parties that got out of control. Just like way too many people showed up. It was getting loud, and like luckily her house was like, it wasn't a worry about cops, but she just was like, dude, I don't want my house trashed. Like this is too perfect.
Understandable.
So First of all, the funniest thing was that in her backyard, she had like a pool house with a pong table, and it's got to be like, it's way too small. It's probably the size of this room, and we have like 50 people in there, just packed, watching the pong game. And she just walks to like as close to the table as she can and slams her hands down. And you can already see she's got that look in her eyes. She's like, I need everyone to get out. And people literally laughed, which was fucked up. But then there was a handle with like this much left, and she just took it and went and drank the whole thing and just dropped it and screamed,
Beast.
everybody out! Like,
What a beast.
Beast. It was Beast. Shout out. I'm
Savage,
going to have to
dude.
blank her name probably, but shout out. And so everyone's like dipping as fast as they can. They're like, holy shit, this girl's about, like her friends are like holding her like, yo, calm down. So I'm watching everyone run, and I'm there with 4 of my buddies. I drove. I'm like, yo, like everyone's trying to pack through the door. I'm like, yo, make way. I'm stealing this keg. I just picked up the keg.
See ya.
We're pushing everybody out of the way. And the next day we were trying to figure out, we're like 19. We can't go buy a tap. So we're trying to figure out the whole day how to open it. And I just took a screwdriver and a hammer, and I got it, and we were pouring it. But then halfway through the day, we got this keg, and we're like, come over, we got a keg. By the time people showed up, it was all flat. It was just skunk. It was harpoon, too. It was harpoon
Skunky
IPA.
harpoon booze.
We
You
still
just, I
drank
don't know
the whole
why
thing.
you
No,
just,
I
you
would
just
still
like
drink it. I don't give a fuck.
triggered a memory. I was at a house party with Jimmy back in high school,
Jimmy from the Q.
and we were in this girl's basement. Like it was a house party, and like she started off invited like a few heads, and like she was a grade younger than us.
Yeah.
And then like we got the word. We're like, yo, we're pulling up. So we get there. We end up in the basement. We're in like this laundry room where it's not really a room. It's more of like a closet. But there was like the laundry machine, the washing machine. We're like sitting on there. There's enough room for probably like 5 or 6 people.
Yeah.
So we're in there. We're smoking. We're chilling. And then the doors are kind of like cracked open. I guess there was some people from like a different school, or there was whatever. Some beef happens. And out in the main basement area, there was just a brawl that broke out.
Oh, God.
And so we're all in there dying laughing. We like kind of shut the door because like we didn't want like the shit to spill in there.
Yeah.
And we see chairs getting thrown. It's just like an absolute like a melee. It was the funniest shit ever.
That's so funny to observe from, especially because you're like trying to like smoke and making sure no one gets on the joint. You're like, yo, they're not even
You're just like
concerned about this.
Yeah.
Just like, yo,
It
what
was
are they
like
doing
watching.
over there?
It was like watching like gorillas at a zoo, and we're like behind the thing. We were dying.
When their whole body shakes when they start moving.
Cops came. Yeah, it was a
We're
nightmare.
at parties at Kyle's house. Shout out Kyle Quist, my best friend from high school. He lives in
You throw
California
down?
now. We used to go have parties at his house, and the first time, so like it would be like his family would party and they would fall asleep, and then we would party. But I got there early, and
Double party.
I'm just thinking, I'm just thinking it's cool. I'm like 19, and Kyle's like 18 at the time, and I'm just thinking shit's sweet, and just drinking. And Kyle hands me a Jello shot because Kyle's older sister used to like, she would like literally make the most Jello shots you've like ever seen before. Like
In the house.
it would be like this
Jello
tall
shots are
tray. It would be like a
fucking
tray like
dangerous,
this,
dude.
this wide and like this big for the party. And so Kyle's giving me Jello shots, and Kyle's dad comes up to me. We're right about to take a Jello shot. And he's like, "Are you 21?" And I was like, "No." And
He
he's
rips
like,
it, yeah.
No, he's like, then put it down. And then Kyle grabs my hand and just smashes it into my mouth. And he's like, it's too late.
It's too late.
And then,
Oh, that's good.
and then Kyle's dad's just like, God damn it, give me your keys.
Dude, that's so
awesome.
funny. That's so funny. So Jello shots just reminded me, if you're ever, I'm going to shout out, it's like my favorite bar in Alston. I don't know what made me do this, but $3, or is it $2? I think it's $2 Jello shots at this bar called The Avenue in Alston. It's
Oh,
right on Harvard Avenue where like the McDonald's and the Great Scott used to
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
If you're ever out there, they got cheap beers in general and got a big draft, but that's the big thing about
their
it. is
draw.
Yeah.
Yo,
was
you
pretty
guys
fun.
want to hear a sick drinking game? I found. Well, I became hip to it in college. You guys know like ice trays, like the blue trays that you put ice in.
Yeah.
If you fill those up, each little square with beer. So like I don't know if there's 12. Is it 12 little
Yes,
squares or
12 to
something
12
like
or
that?
16, yeah.
Yeah, you get the big ones, the
Yeah.
16ers, and you each get one. So like me and Tommy would have one, or you do teams. So like I get the right side, you get the left side, and you take a straw and and you race, dude. That shit was so fun. And like obviously it's super bubbly, so you just get like the burps and shit. But
That's so
I
funny.
remember doing that in college, just racing people, crushing them.
I've never heard of that
Yeah,
game.
that sounds like
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, it's a fun
Do
one.
you ever play coins?
Is that the one where like they throw the shit up in the air?
No, it's like they spin the coin and everybody has to have their drink on the table, and whoever gets called out has to try and flick the coin into somebody's drink. And like a lot of times it'll ricochet, hit like multiple drinks.
Oh, I'd never heard of this.
Then they spin it again, and you have to chug until the coin's done spinning, and people can keep flicking the coin.
It. That's fire.
Going.
What's the one where they throw the shit up in the air?
That's
and
what
like,
I thought.
They have to land on the table or some shit.
I'm not sure.
It's like leagues and shit. My buddy JT, I've seen him do that shit.
That's like an old drinking game.
But yeah, I went to this party where they were playing coins I'd never played before.
Did you get smoked?
I eventually did.
The trick is too, if it's on the side wobbling, just and blow on it, and it just keeps fucking going.
It doesn't fall.
Yeah, so the thing is though, is if somebody finishes their drink and they slam their drink on the coin, then they get to spin it and make everybody else chug that touch the coin to keep it going.
Oh fuck!
I get the coin from Inception.
So the first time my bottle got hit, it's the best to play with bottles because you want to hear that ting.
Yeah,
it's a better ricochet than off a can. So ideally, everybody would have a bottle, but you can't play with cans. So I was at the liquor store and I got like Not Your Father's ginger ale because I was just floored. I was like, I've never seen some shit like that.
Yeah.
And I got it. And so when we played the game, I was like, I want to play with the Not Your Father's ginger ale. That's what I had brought to the party. But I got a little pint of Jägermeister in my back pocket.
Nice.
And so I'm drinking, and they make me chug this whole thing. And like the ginger ale's coming out of my nose. It's so fizzy. My eyes feel like they're bleeding. I'm like, that was the worst thing ever. I can't play with that anymore. I'm gonna play with Jägermeister.
Oh no, dude!
Jaeger is fire, dude.
It is.
Yeah, and they made me. It eventually got hit, and they made me chug the Jaeger. And this is early on in the night, and I got them back too. I slammed it and spun it back on them, and then I was like, "All right, I'm done playing this game. I'm gonna go outside and smoke a cigarette." So I go outside. And I'm just like waiting for it. I was just like, I should be hammered right now.
Yeah.
I was like, I just chugged that. I'm not really feeling it yet. And I smoked my cigarette. And I'm like, maybe I'm just a beast. And then I went to go take a step inside and I just fell down.
Oh, no.
I just ate shit.
Dude, speaking of Jaeger, one of the times I realized I was at a baller ass party. So I did a semester in LA, and throughout the summer, like I stayed the whole summer and started dating this girl, and she had some friends who lived in Calabasas.
Oh yeah,
which is like, have you heard of? Yeah, Calabasas is like
that's super
a bit of a drive. Wealthy money. Well, from where I lived in the valley, like it was like a 25-minute ride. It wasn't bad.
Not bad. It's nice, yeah.
But it was like a mansion party.
Yeah.
So like we pull up to this like gated community. We pull up to the thing. They're like, "What's your name?" But they call the crib. Beep. They open the gate and you drive through this fucking thing. You get to this house, and there wasn't a lot of people there. It's probably like, I don't know, like 50 people total, which is like, it was a big house.
Yeah.
But you come in, and we go through this nice kitchen, and we get to the backyard where it's like sick pool, fucking jacuzzi, all this shit. But on the side, they had a table with tons of booze, and they had a tap with Jaeger.
Oh my God.
Yo!
Oh, dude, I was like, thank you.
The Jaeger tap? That's crazy.
I feel like the equivalent of finding, like as a youth finding free booze, the equivalent now is like an open bar.
Oh, yeah.
Any event that has an open bar, it's like, let's fucking. Weddings are big
money.
for that.
Yeah.
I went to a wedding on New Year's recently, and the open bar was only for the first hour after the reception. They do that?
Yeah, that happens.
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
It depends on like the budget. It depends on like the families, where it's like sometimes like, oh, they don't want people to get too fucked up, or like, yeah, there's a lot of factors that go into it. But
that
like,
didn't stop me. I got fucked up.
Well, dude, an open bar for the whole night on a wedding is so much bread.
Yeah. There was when Jeremy and Hillary's wedding. I tell a joke about their wedding. I officiated it as Harry Potter.
That's awesome.
It was a Hogwarts themed wedding. But yeah, we ran out. We were like, what the fuck? I thought it was open bar. Her dad dropped like 20 racks on open bar. And they were like,
you ran out of booze?
They were like, we ran out. So her dad just like, well, no, they were just like, you've drank your fill. And Hillary's dad was like, fuck that, drop like $5,000 more
to get more booze.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy's the man.
They'll upsell you a ton, dude. In the clubs, it baffles me. Like I remember when I first started going to the clubs,
Mm-hmm.
And you get into like the table life where it's like, wait, a bottle of Tito's
Like
is
$300.
$300.
Yeah.
Like, what? This shit's like $40 at the store, if
Yeah.
that.
I was trying to go out for my birthday, like the weekend beforehand, to go to. So we were talking about it. The
Yeah.
Saturdays over at Icon, and I was like, dude, it was also just bad timing with New Year's coming up. But I'm like, I don't want to have to find 3-4 friends to split the table with just so I could get a bottle. And
No,
but
it's not worth
it's
it.
fun.
Yeah, have
for
you ever
a
see
night,
that
but-
video? This guy goes to, I think it was like L.A. City Council, and he was like, "We need affordable bottle service." He was like,
That's something
he
I
was
could
like,
get
we
behind.
racked up an $800 bill. He's like, we need to be able to afford epic nights with the boys.
I love that. I fucking love that.
Yeah, that's a policy I can get behind.
Yeah,
Dude, I was
man.
just thinking about, do you guys remember, I mean, it happens all the time now, but I feel like there was like a stretch of viral videos that was like dudes at college just running through their wall or through a door. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Or
it still
jumping through
happens.
tables, I feel like it's still a big thing.
Yeah. You'll still see them, but I feel like 2018 for some reason, 2017 through like 2020, it was a long time, but I was seeing them like every week, like a new video.
Yeah.
And I remember I went to go visit my buddy at Dartmouth for a party. And the party was downstairs the whole time, but I got a little too drunk, and I was like, yo, I want to go roll up, but I don't want to smoke with nobody. He's like, you can go up in my room. And as I'm like halfway up the stairs, he's like, yo, watch your feet. And then I get up to the top of the stairs, and it was one of those, like those housing, like it was the Dells at UMass Dartmouth. So like it's a 2 apartment house. One of their roommates ran clean through the wall upstairs to the other apartment. So they just had one big
Like a hole.
hallway. Yeah, hole, but they were like, well, fuck it. We're just going to knock it down and pay for it.
That's
So
fucked.
they just had a hallway upstairs connecting the 2 apartments, but he ran through the wall.
Oh my
I was like, let me
God.
see this fucking kid. It made sense. He was
Yeah.
huge.
He's
We
a
used-
massive beast.
Yeah, we used to chill at this house in Manamet, and I got kind of sad there after a while. I stopped chilling there because it turned into from a party house to a trap.
Yeah.
But
As it usually does.
Yeah. Once the
And-
people leave.
Yeah, and but at first it was like it was cool, and it got really bad when they started to trash the place because like what happened was, my friend's mom lived there. She met a dude, moved not far, like within Manamet, but she just moved in with him and stopped. Paying
checking
her
in on the
mortgage.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and
Oh.
so
That's
the
not
bank
good.
took
That's different.
years to come for this place, and her son, my friend,
So it was a bando.
my friend who I shouldn't say his name on the pod, lived there for like years. The bank didn't come for it. And it was fun at first. We started chilling, and they started to trash the place. It was crazy. Philly fucking ran through the glass door. They just like it
Holy
would just be
shit.
like a party, and like once one little thing started going, then people really started to trash the place. It was like Philly ran through the glass door, and then all of a sudden people were like, "Let's rip the
That's
chandelier
ironic.
out."
Isn't
and, like-
it called the broken window theory?
Well, at least it was his house, though, you know, or like he knew. The
No,
owner.
it wasn't.
Well, like was the owner. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I
No,
went
it
to
was
a
the
house
bank's
party
house.
in Braintree. I think I was in high school, and it was like an abandoned. It must have been foreclosed or something.
Yeah.
Because like it was like, oh, they gave us the address, but like the light did nothing worked. It was like we pull up with my buddy my buddy was like, oh yeah, I got a party. Like okay, I remember pulling up, and like we go in. There's like maybe 10, 12 people there, and like a kitchen. There's like little like flashlights and shit, and it's just like, what the fuck? Like, we're not supposed to be in this house. I remember we left. I was like, bro, I'm leaving. He's like, really? I'm like, dude. What the? It was cold as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, yo, the heat
This
is off. Like
sucks.
this, we should not be in this fucking house.
It's not enough body
But
heat in here.
the best thing. Well, yeah, they turned the heat off, but like obviously nobody was coming to refill the gas. But like they never turned the electricity off,
That's
so we
pretty
had
fu-
space
space
heaters
heater,
in there
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff.
Ah.
But
Did they?
so-
She said they trashed the place.
yeah, they ended up trashing the place.
Dude, I remember seeing at UMass, like especially during the big like Blarney or like the tail, like any large scale event.
Yeah.
We used to go to either the townhouses or like some of the fraternities, and it's like throughout the day, like if you get there earlier, I think people live there, so it's like it's pretty chill. But then like by the end of the day, just to see some of these apartments where it's like there's shit everywhere, dude. Beers on the floor, like sticky, like I
Yeah.
remember seeing just the worst. It looked like a bomb went off there.
The best part about that place though, my favorite thing ever. So we were chilling there. So in Plymouth, the 3rd of July is a huge deal.
Yep.
because everybody goes to like Manamet Beach and Whitehorse Beach and like parties their heart out before the 4th. Because like
I love that. That's a Quincy thing, where everybody goes to House Neck to like. The beach.
Really?
Yeah. It's like
yeah,
the third is
because, like,
a
the third
major holiday.
Yeah, because it's like for the adults.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whereas 4th is a lot for the kids and stuff.
Yep.
So 1/3 we had a party there, and I was like trying to get like drugs all night. Nobody had drugs on the 3rd of July, or like people kept stunting on me. I was like acid, coke. I don't give a fuck.
Give me something.
Give me something. But we ended up having mad beers. I told a story on the pod about Bobby, he's like, you can't handle the truth.
Oh,
I told
yes.
that story on the pod. That was that night too. But the best thing, so the morning of the 4th, right? I ended up crashing in this guest bedroom. We had 2 mattresses down. So I was sleeping in one, and my buddy, rest in peace, Adrian, my buddy Dree, was sleeping in the other. And so that kid Bobby that was like flipping out the night before, he's like up early in the morning. He was like the most fucked up out of all of us, and he's up at like 7 a.m., bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, like outside making friends. Because like he lived on the main road, but like if you just like walk down the dirt roads, you're at the beaches.
Mm-hmm.
So like everybody's around Manamet between the 3rd and the 4th, and he's like, Bobby's like out making friends.
Yeah.
And so some guy stumbles in to the room Dree and I are sleeping in, and he is this big white dude, do-rag, like a Slim Shady type of dude.
Nice. B-Rad from Malibu.
I can see him. Yeah, I can picture him.
And he was like, Bobby said you guys could like find me some acid.
You were probably like, what the fuck? Where you been all night, dude? I've been looking for this shit.
But like, I was like, dude, no, I can't find you some acid. And his girlfriend comes in, and she's like bitching at us. And we were like kind of being like cordial with this dude. We just woke up, we're confused, but then this lady's being loud, and we were like, all right, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
You're like, both of you out of here.
Yeah.
And she's like, you're gonna let your asshole friends talk to me like that? And we're like, bitch, we don't know you guys. Like, get the fuck out.
Also,
And then,
you're the asshole.
yeah,
I'm sleeping.
Yeah. And so this guy's like, guys, I'm so sorry about that. Do you guys like cigarettes?
Yes.
And we were like, yes.
Immediately became
and then
your
like,
boy.
cause so she like walked back into the living room. So like we hear he walks out of the room, and he was like, bitch, you upset my new friends. He was like, get in here and give them some cigarettes right now.
You reamed her.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
god.
so she comes back in the room, and she starts throwing like Newport 100s at us, right?
Throwing them?
Yeah, and she's throwing cigarettes at us, and we're like, what the fuck? And we were like,
He said, you like cigarettes? Hold on one
we
second.
were like,
my friend.
I was like, excuse me, guys, I'll be right back. And then he's just like, what the fuck?
Screaming. My new friends is my favorite thing.
and so we were like, dude, look, dude, we could get you acid, but it's 8 in the morning right now. We were just partying all night. We're going back to bed. There's nobody that sells acid that wasn't partying all night.
That is awake right now.
Yeah, there's
You're
gonna
in a
be
queue.
a way. They were like, you're friends with Bobby, right? And he's like, yeah. We're like, go find Bobby and hang out with him, and we'll text Bobby when we can find you something. And so that was my favorite thing ever. And then so the next day we go back towards the beach, and it turns out that this dude, he introduced himself to us as Jigga, and it was a white guy. And he had been out of prison for a few days.
Fresh out the pen,
After doing like a 9-year bid.
dude. He's just trying to party, dude.
And he went back to jail that day forever.
Oh, no.
He got in a fight with a cop and tried to pull the cop's gun out.
Oh, yeah. Was he on acid? No.
Probably.
Right? Got a bad batch, dude. That's all. That's what
I never saw
happened.
him after like that exchange, but that's what I heard from other people, because
Wow.
he ended up just chilling with our friends that were
Yeah.
awake.
Do you know if I told the empty fish tank thing on here? I forget.
No.
So we went to, just for context, because it's kind of we went to my cousin's house, our cousin's house. Shout out Michael, previous episode, friend of the pod, fam of the pod, and like I'd been to his apartment once, but I hadn't been in a bit, and I like kind of forgot what it looked like. So we walk in the living room, and we're like just chilling for a minute. We're like standing in the middle of the living room, and like right behind Michael after we're standing there for like 10, 15 minutes, I noticed that there's a fish tank back there with water, bubbling, filter, everything. It looks good. So I'm like staring at it, and then I'm like, there's no fucking fish in there. Like, there's nothing in there. So I just looked at him and I was like, dude,
where's your fish?
the fish tank with no fish in it is the most dope boy thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, we're like, yo, I got the setup, but my funds right now, they got to go into some other shit. And what made me laugh is like specifically, I mean, that's a good generalization, but one of the funnest and funniest parties I ever went to was at a trap house for my friend. And we went in, you go in the front door, it's in Brockton, you go in the front door, and it's just hardwood floors with foldable chairs.
Yeah.
One long plastic foldable table, and then a fish tank with no fish in the corner. And then you go in the kitchen, and it's like the original kitchen that came with the house. It's like old tiles with the grouts all dirty and gross ass stove and everything. But then in their back door from the kitchen to the back porch is just a dirt bike just blocking the fucking door.
Fuck.
It's then you go in the bathroom and all of a sudden you're in like a $3,000 loft. It's like there's a flat screen TV, everything's
What
got
the
mood
fuck?
lighting, it's got a Japanese shower with a jacuzzi. It's got got a
Lavish,
bidet.
dude.
Well, that's what it's the most dope boy house ever. They're like, we need a fish tank, we need a nice bathroom that I could smoke weed and watch TV in, and I need a fucking
Dude,
dirt
trap
bike.
house interior decor, it ranges. I mean, like, you're talking about Crush and Brews, like, and we were talking about frat houses. Like, I
Yeah.
remember seeing people would cut the boxes of like beer cases, and just like an entire wall would be like a Bush Light, but like just like 50 boxes
Yeah.
just like on the wall is almost like a mural.
Yeah.
It's like, how the fuck is that? I mean, I
Cool.
guess like it's a cool decor.
It makes me think of Steve-O. It was more sad, but you ever watch the Steve-O documentary?
No.
Bro, he used to just like in the hallways, like the doorways of his house, he would just take cans and like stack them from the top down to his head height. So it was random decor, but it was just like cans he'd tape together and stick sideways in the thing. And it was that was his decor, was just
That's odd.
overhead Coors Light cans. Like,
What the fuck?
it's an interesting decor. It also makes me think though,
Cans.
cans. I'm just thinking of funny party stories. I wanted to save this for when Nestor's on, but I feel like it'd be better to tell it to someone who hasn't heard it. Dude, we threw this party down in Plymouth, funny enough, one time with my friend Willie. And it was funnier with Nestor because he knew who Willie was, but the story's still funny. This kid's like super uptight, and he's very strange, bro. He loves Hootie and the Blowfish and Darius Rucker, and
What the
he
hell?
wears like he was in a band and he did vocals, and it would basically sounded like a Hootie cover band, and on stage he would wear like banana costumes, like it was all theatrical.
Funny shit, yeah.
Yeah, and so he's a funny guy, and like never really anything made him mad. So, and he was always party guy. He would throw parties because it was just him and his grandmother, and she was always doing some. She was still working, so we would throw parties there. And I remember we went to one, and he was so excited for this party because the people that showed up were like friends of his in the music scene that he really wanted to hang out with. And he was telling me, he's like, dude, I got Hootie and the Blowfish on TV because he had like the tour DVD. He's like, I'm putting that on the TV. We're having Hootie playing the whole time. We're playing cup pong. I made so much
He had it
pasta.
all figured out.
He had it all figured out. No one ate the pasta. But he was like, everybody shows up and he's like, yo, help yourself to some food, play pong,
That's
watch
the best, dude, when someone's got food at the party.
the best, dude, because then you don't have to worry about, you can go all night. Dude, we had so much booze. I'm like, how are we going to take this all down?
Yeah.
Pasta. But then he was like, there's only one rule. We have a cat. Don't let the cat out. Simple rule.
Oh, fuck. I know where this is going.
Back patio, go smoke. So I was there with my friend Bugman, friend of the pod, who was just basically...
Bugman?
Yeah, Bugman.
That's hilarious.
Bugman's the shit.
You watch Workaholics back in the day?
Yeah, but I don't remember Bugman.
No, the character Blake, the one with the long hair.
Yeah.
That's Bugman. That's my best friend. That's
Okay,
that's
okay,
like
okay, I got you.
he's just happy-go-lucky, but also gets into some very wild stuff.
Yep.
So, and I brought him there because I wanted him to meet all these people. So we're partying, everyone's drinking, and the back patio is the smoking area. And me and Bugman keep going out by ourselves, and I'm on his ass because I know he's going to be the one to let the fucking cat out. And I'm like, close that glass sliding door behind you every time when we go smoke a cigarette. So we're smoking cigarettes all night, and then this girl and her friends were like, do you want to come smoke weed with me? And I sold him a dub. We went out, and he was in the bathroom, so I texted him like, yo, I'm out back. If you want to come smoke, now's the time. And we'd been going in and out the door all night. And of course, yeah, you're right. He opens the door and the fucking cat runs out.
Classic.
And he closes the door immediately. He's like, what do I do? And it was one of these like neighborhoods in Plymouth where it's like a developmental, like Levittown. All the yards are connected in the backyard. There's no fence. It's just like
Oh,
rolling
no.
hill.
See
so
ya.
we're watching the cat just run through these yards. And we're like, dude, what are we going to do?
I have like 7 guesses on what neighborhood it was.
And so everybody, like, we just stood out there because we were like I was like, I'm not going back.
You
in
basically,
that party.
that's not my problem.
Yeah, you
Like,
lost.
I didn't
the
let
cat.
the cat out.
I'm
That's
staying over
you.
here. That's all you. I'm staying right here, and you can go in and tell them. And he never went in. So we stayed out all night, and people kept coming out, and slowly we were hearing the updates from inside the party because we're like, yo, have you guys seen the cat? Willie's a little bugged out. And I just kept going like this.
You didn't want to say nothing.
And looking at him because I'm like, just say it, dude. And he's just like, damn, that's crazy.
Damn, that's crazy. You
And
didn't,
so-
you didn't want to fess up.
Finally, one of our buddies, Ryan, comes out and he's like, you guys have been out here all night. Did you lose the cat? And I looked at Adam. I looked at Bugman. I was finally like, this motherfucker let the cat out. I was waiting for him to come out and he let the cat out.
Snitched on
Well,
him.
because Ryan was like, we got to find
He
the
was
cat.
pissed, yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, it wasn't his cat. He was like, Willie's going to be pissed. He's
Oh,
like, let's
okay.
find the cat. So I'm like, all right, bro. This dude did it. We've been out here for 2 hours waiting for it to come back. We can't find it. And all of a sudden in the bush, we just hear rustling. And Ryan, on instinct, goes and dives in the... He doesn't even see it. He dives in the bush, and the cat just darts out the other end. It was right there the whole fucking time. We could have like tried luring it in, and he just dove for it.
And it ran
scared
off?
it off.
Fucking idiot.
So at that point, we're like, fuck, dude. The cat's gone. Like, I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to figure it
You
out.
gotta
We-
get the treats and fucking shake that shit.
That's what I wanted to do, but
Too late for that.
we go back in. We're playing beer pong. I'm too drunk. I'm like, I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm sleeping in the living room, which is right next to the table where they're playing beer pong on the floor. And Ryan and Bugman and one of our other buddies, they join in. They're playing beer pong together. And Ryan leans over and he's like, all right, Bugman, you and Tommy were out there for a minute. What happened with the cat? And Bugman goes, I don't know, man. Came out and he let the fucking cat out. And I wasn't asleep yet. I wasn't asleep yet. I was like, you fucking Benedict Arnold. Like, I
Damn.
fucking can't.
Well, hey, to be fair, you threw him under the bus first.
I did. I was panicked. I was like, bro, we got to find this cat. But no, he shifted that blame on me. I'm like, dog, you let the cat out.
Yeah,
And-
no,
and
that was on him.
they're mid-argument, and Willie, whose cat it is, he wakes up because he was asleep. He wakes up and he's like,
Where's my cat?
he comes down for water, and we're like, oh, you know, everyone shh. And he goes to grabs water. He's like, oh, I'm gonna go stand out front. Like, I gotta make sure the house is not trash. And he opens the door, which is like above my head. He opens the door and he goes, who fucking let the cat out? The cat was at the front door
Oh,
for
no.
who knows how long, but it finally made its
It
way
came
back.
in?
Yeah, luckily he let it so cool because he didn't know how long it was gone, but it was like a 6-hour endeavor. Dude. It was like 3-4 in the morning, like bugging the fuck out. Like,
That thing definitely had the time of its life out
Bro,
there.
it definitely had an Oliver and Company type adventure for sure. I think we probably gave it the best experience of its 9 lives.
That's awesome.
Yeah, actually, people used to let Davenport, when I used to throw parties in the Pine Hills,
Oh, and Davenport.
people used to let Davenport out all the time. But thank God Davenport's my cat. He lives with my sister now because I can't have pets anymore. But
Is he an outdoor cat?
no, he's an indoor cat. But if people would like we'd have parties at the spa in the Pine Hills, and like, I think my friends were trying to be respectful. It was Jill most of the time. Fuck you, Jill.
Jill, you fucking bastard.
Jill
I'm gonna
would
come
be,
down there, Jill. You better fucking
Jill
be
would
ready.
be leaving. I think Chapin was a culprit on this too one time.
That bastard.
But would like try and lightly close the door, but like not close the door, and then the wind would blow it open, and I'd wake up like having to go to work, and be like, I gotta fucking find this cat. But every time, like
Cats are shifty motherfuckers.
yeah, but Davenport thankfully was a pussy.
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
Comedy.
And he would only go as far as like under the bush next to the patio.
Dude, I remember
and just chill there, and I'd just like
That's
go
awesome.
and get him, and I'd be like, get in here. He just fucking scared me.
I learned what an outdoor cat was because of your cats growing up. It was Socks, and what was the other one?
Tiger.
Tiger.
Tiger was a
Tiger was
beast.
a beast. Yeah, Tiger was a beast.
If you couldn't tell, I named them when I was 6.
You did a phenomenal job, dude.
Yeah. I always say this. I'm like the GOAT. I'm the LeBron James of naming pets. And it started there because I named Tiger. And clearly, a 6-year-old named Tiger. I'm not proud of that name.
Off to Tiger Woods, right?
No.
He's a legendary golfer. Dude.
Yeah, dude. Also,
Yes.
legendary pussy getter.
That's true. Yeah.
He got canceled because he was just getting too much box, dude. That was crazy.
I don't even think he got canceled. People still love Tiger.
Yeah, you're right.
Dude, he almost died.
He honestly got more canceled for like not denouncing Trump than he did for cheating on his
really?
wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were like, they were like, "You don't like Trump, right?" And he's like, "I respect the office." And everybody was like, "I'm not sure I like Tiger anymore." But,
What a professional.
But anyways, yeah, Tiger was a beast. Tiger would fight anything in the neighborhood.
Yeah, that cat was crazy.
Oh, but once I named Socks after I named Tiger, it was when the spree started. I was like, then I just was the goat at naming pets.
When I get my next puppy, I'll come to you, dude.
Definitely. But like, yeah, Tiger would like fight. He would get his ass kicked. He'd like go fight like a group of
Cat
turkeys.
fights are, dude, those things, you can hear them shits from miles away.
Scary, bro. I don't like the sounds
he would
they
go
make.
like he didn't give any fucks. He would go like fight like 5 turkeys and get his ass kicked.
Yeah, that cat was crazy.
From a turkey? Oh my god.
Dude, I
would pay good money to see a cat turkey fight.
Actually, yeah, I probably would pay
Tiger
for that.
on his own might be able to take down one turkey, but like, turkeys are rarely alone. Like,
They travel in packs, dude.
yeah, he
hang
would
out
go
in
try and
trees.
fight like a pack of turkeys. Like we had a woodchuck like living under the
Scooby would absolutely demolish a turkey.
Oh, I bet Scooby
If
would.
a turkey was by himself was in the yard, honestly, even a pack of them, he would kill every single one of them.
Scooby does have that look in him where he's a sweet boy, but he's also like, I'm business right now.
No, I think he would be curious. He'd come up and be very curious. But then, like, if they were to swipe at him, he would go for the jugular.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And the thing is, even if he's not that like vicious, dude, he's like 90 pounds, bro.
That's a
He'd
big boy.
absolutely steamroll those things.
Yeah, unfortunately, Tiger was only like 16 pounds, but like, yeah, there was a woodchuck that lived under the shed. He killed that thing in like 0.2 seconds.
Good, motherfucking woodchuck.
Thinking about your old, what are we at, by the way?
Hour and 16.
We do usually run a little over, but whenever you have to get going is
We
when
can wrap up
cap
soon. Let's have some final thoughts here.
Okay. Thinking of your old house and thinking of those cats and the dog. We told this story briefly, but this is a different version, about the wedding after party at your mom's house.
That
One
was
of my
crazy.
favorite memories. One of my favorite memories of my lifetime is when we went upstairs to sneak sodas, and they were all like just gathered in the living room dancing around, and Pour Some Sugar on Me by Def Leppard came on.
Ooh,
and we were
that's a great
bugging
drinking
out.
song.
We were
dude.
like, yo, this song is great. And they were like, yeah, like the little kids came, they were like, dance, dance. And you busted out the worm in the craziest fashion because that was just go-to. And I was like, I want to try and do it. And I think I failed, but I tried it. And I just remember being like, this is the best thing ever. We just did the worm at the wedding. And
A worm at the wedding is legendary, dude.
well, full circle moment. On New Year's, I was at a wedding, and like my
Hold on, I want you to envision the craziest dance party you've ever been to in your life, and then imagine if you were there when you were like 10 years old.
it was nuts. I've never seen so many adults dancing.
That song
It
in
was my
itself,
mom
dude,
and my
is
sister's
epic.
father's wedding,
Mhm.
and they got so fucked up, and they had a live like a DJ,
Real
come to
DJ in the house.
DJ Gub, yeah, in the house, and yeah, they had like 4 to 6 like 15-inch subwoofers like in my
was
little
crazy.
residential home. Like people were
It's
like,
not a big living room.
people complained about it like a neighborhood
Couple blocks
over.
away, yeah. That's one of Jimmy and I's favorite drinking
But-
songs from high school. Is
Pour Some Sugar on
Yeah.
Me. It's a great song.
But like it was
Pour
like
some Ruby on. We'd be drinking Reuben off. Yeah.
I got to drink to that. That's good.
Well, just the intro. Step inside. Walk this way. You and me. Hey, hey. And then the shit.
It's so tough. Well, I was at a wedding on New Year's when Return of the Mat came on. Or was it? It might have been This Is How We Do It. It was one of those songs.
Yep.
And she leans over to me and she was like, yo, white people really love this song. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is like white person anthem for weddings. And as soon as I finished that sentence, 2 40-year-old men hit the worm on the floor.
Yo.
I was like, yo. And one of them was doing it smooth, but the other one was doing the worm where they're like, just smacking the floor.
flopping. The Worm is one of the greatest dance moves of all time.
Hands down, I might have to relearn it. I feel like Scotty Too Hottie.
Yeah.
That dude was the man. He
Scotty
might have
too.
reinvigorated the worm. Like, it was a b-boy movement, but if you were a fan of wrestling in the early 2000s.
Dude, anytime you see someone do the Worm, you know that shit's about to blow the roof off.
Yeah, dude, that one in the Cabbage Patch. You know that one? It's Oh,
This
that's
one-
the Cabbage Patch. What's
Yeah.
the one where you grab your leg and your head?
Oh,
Oh,
the
that's-
sprinkler.
No. Sprinkler's just that one with the leg and that shit's like a 90s fucking bussa move.
Yeah, you see one break that one out though. And
Dude,
you're
I
like,
haven't seen
"Damn."
that move in a fucking
I
minute.
saw that right after the worm.
This year at the wedding.
Literally, yeah, a
Couple
few
days
days
ago?
ago, like a week ago.
That's I might have to pull because that's an easy move to pull off, dude. The fucking head and leg.
Yeah.
That's a very like childhood dance move that I like
I
early
forgot it
90s, early
existed.
2000s. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, man.
Shout
Weddings
out
are
to
fun.
whoever busted that shit out.
I forgot that the worm existed until that moment. I was so happy. That was great.
We might have to learn the worm, dude.
Yeah, we might have to do.
Unless you're bricked up, dude, there's no way you can do the worm. You can have some damage down there.
I would probably damage the floor.
You got to be soft as a yeah. Put a hole.
I
in
might get that
thing.
floor pregnant, dude. You gotta be careful. The idea of the bricked up worm seems like a dominatrix thing, where she's
You
like,
gotta
"All right,
really
now
hit
do
it
the
at an
worm."
angle. It could be like a springboard, if anything, dude.
Yeah, I
Right,
was
you
gonna
might get
say
some distance. You might
it
do a
would just be
somersault.
like, I don't know, like. Now I'm imagining it being in like the position to do the worm while I'm all arched and being like bricked up, and I could just be like a human top. Just
Spin.
spinning.
Just stand on it and spin.
Remember gym class? I feel like we were when we used to do these things like the crab walk and the bear walk. Did you guys do that?
I think so.
This was like elementary school gym
Yeah.
class. Like with one of our pre-exercises before we played a game was like, you remember the crab walk though, right?
Yeah.
Just imagine doing a crab walk bricked up, dude.
I could do it. I could do it, dude. I could do it to this day.
I might be too embarrassed.
Well, on that note, dude.
Yeah,
Thank you
that's-
guys for having me on the show. This
Yeah,
was
thank
fire.
you for coming. Yo, thank you for tuning in for another
Thank you
Crushing
for
Brews.
having us at your house to have you on our show.
Yeah, thank
Pleasure.
you. Thank
Pleasure's
you
all
for
mine.
basically hosting it, dude.
Yeah, man. Well,
This was
cheers,
great.
boys.
Cheers. Here we go.
Bing, bang,
Cans.
bang. Bye.